Welcome back to Be-Bell Podcast and welcome to Minisodes. This is where we spend a little bit of time, and a very short time, just reflecting on the episodes from the last series. I want to know what you thought resonated with you, and mostly I'll be talking about what resonated with me. So I hope you enjoy them. Welcome to Be-Bell Minisodes. So in episode 3, I had so much to talk about. So I know I explained this, but I was introduced to Tammy Darcy by some friends of mine in the business world. And so I got to understand and know about the Shona Project, which I just think is amazing. Just kudos to her. But Tammy's quite a special person. Tammy makes you feel a certain way. And for me, it's lovely to be in her presence. I love people that understand and know their value. And without a doubt, Tammy really gets it. And we spoke about her story of bullying at school and how someone that, at a young age, someone that she trusted turned her life around and took her from, I suppose, being quite a confident girl to just actually the destruction of her self-confidence. She talks obviously about her sister. And isn't it amazing how she's taken something that was so traumatic to her in her life and she's made something so special from it? But we spoke honestly as well about bullying and about, I suppose, I don't remember being bullied at school. I really don't. I wasn't so close in any groups that I would be picked on. It happened. I do remember one instance where it happened to me for a short period of time. Obviously, guys, this was before social media. I mean, God forbid how kids feel now. But I remember these girls constantly ringing the pub phone and my dad saying, tell your friends to stop ringing. And they would just ring prank and put the phone down. And they were mean. They were mean girls. And I remember at that time really understanding that I didn't want to be part of that group. But then the fear of becoming part of any group and being let down probably turned me into that social butterfly, the person that just became the mediator and just was friendly to all the groups. And I kind of liked that space that I held because I didn't want to be bullied, and be the bully too. But recently I've been watching a few programs, and actually I watch on Channel 4 Educating Yorkshire. It was out quite a long time ago, but they brought it back. And I'm looking at the girls' relationships in there and social media and how the school are trying to deal with it by talking and having a mediator, an adult, to help them. And it's really special. And I'd want that for any of my nieces or nephews if they were still in school. But you never know, I might get another one. But I'd want that for them, someone to help them and see them through. I also watched Adolescence recently. I think everybody should watch it. And obviously, they're talking about showing it in schools. And I think it would be a really good thing to do. But one that I watched was Stripped with Emma Willis and her husband, where they take the phones off a group of children and the adults for 21 days. And actually, this was the most disturbing of all the programs that I watched because I couldn't get over what they did in the experiment. And one thing they did was set up 2 phones as 13-year-olds and join TikTok. And what they did was they didn't go scrolling. So they just left it to see what they would be fed. And the girl phone wasn't fed too much bad stuff, to be honest, to start with. But the boys within 4 hours were fed some really disturbing pictures of women being choked, of aggression, of guns, violence. When I watched it, I was like, oh my God, because I do feel like we're living in a world running backwards at the moment. And if that's what they're being fed, is it any wonder? But I think all those 3, I would highly recommend going and having a look and having a watch. What I do love about Tammy is she's just a grafter. But I think back to, and I speak about it all the time, if you can see it, you can be it. She grew up seeing that. So having the grit then and the confidence, because she had the Shona Project idea for 5 years and actually was talking herself out of it, which another guest of mine, Mark Fennell, would have been able to help her with, because that's what he talks about quite often is our own bullying ourselves. But yeah, look, I think it was a really important message. The Shona Project and what they do is beyond, and I absolutely adore it. And I will be involving myself. I'm going to be working as a volunteer for them, because I think it's really important that we give the girls the courage to have the confidence. And Tammy has recognised that this is needed for boys as well, which I was talking a little bit about earlier. And so she is launching a Shona Project Mark II for our boys, which I think is super important. I think sometimes we can forget that something that's so traumatic in your life can be turned into something so special with such impact. And that's exactly what she does. Hi, and thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Be-Bell Podcast. If you have any thoughts, questions, or feedback for us, we always love for you to get involved. And you can find us on Instagram at @bbell_podcast. Don't forget, though, that if you want to watch these episodes, you can see them all on my YouTube channel, Sian Horn. And don't forget to follow and subscribe. The more people that follow and subscribe, the better it is for the podcast, the more that we can improve future and going forward. So, with that being said, thank you so much for following Be-Bell, and I hope you enjoy these next episodes.